Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hartford Whalers Expansion Franchise here on NHL 24. We're now in Game 71 of this Year 5 season. Our Whalers riding a 6-game winning streak into this one as we'll take over here in the third period, leading 3-1 over the Vancouver Canucks. A quick rush there, led by Filip Zadina, as he gets that down on Dan Vladar, the first season Vladar, the goaltender here of the Vancouver Canucks, who have really struggled. Not a good team towards the bottom of the Western Conference, and Brock Boeser does net a goal in this game earlier here against his former team, now in his third season with our Hartford Whalers. Leading 3-1 here, as I said, Game 71, so every point matters in this playoff race. As a nice rip there from the point was Filip Zadina, went a little bit wide. Landeskog now back for Zadina, blocked in congestion, as Rasmus Ristolainen will get that out for JT Miller, who is still kicking here with the Canucks, as he'll lead the charge. Back behind the net now for Elias Peterson, back to the point for Ristolainen for Kozhevnikov, and Askarov able to glove that one, and he's been phenomenal here as of late. In our last 6 games, we've had 3 shutouts in that span, as we are riding a 6-game winning streak, as I said, into this one. Elias Peterson leading the team with 63 points. They did lose Quinn Hughes to the New York Islanders, who are set to capture the President's Trophy, as they are high above the standings right now. Montour now leading the rush for Zadina again, who has been very energetic here to start. Bounces that off the boards, but out of the zone, as Sami Maki able to retrieve that backhand pass there for Scheifele, as he will get some space. Now centering pass for Zadina, just off his stick, picked up by Montour. Along the boards, now back to the point for Landeskog for Maki working in. He gets a shot off, blocked in front, and now picked up by Scheifele. Fighting there against Kozhevnikov, first round pick, who is now on the Canucks, formerly of the Sabres, and now Connolly for JT Miller. Connolly towards the net. Now for Ristolainen, a shot. Save Askarov behind the net, picked up by Ristolainen. Spins away from a man, now back for Kozhevnikov. Deflected in front by Connolly, another save by Askarov. The Canucks a couple quality chances here as Boeser will get that out. Brock Boeser against Jean-Gabriel Pageau here in the neutral zone. Now loose puck back into Vancouver territory, picked up by Ristolainen, as he'll avoid a hit there from Boeser. Now for Edmondson, as he will lead that in. Edmondson now for Podkolzin, who turns it over. A big hit there. Sami Maki fell to the ice. Boeser going to dump that and chase it, as there's Zane Parekh, a member of the Canucks here in this franchise, of course, of Calgary in present day, as Rodriguez loses that one at center ice, and Boeser backhand that there for Leo Carlsson, who's had a career year now at age 23. Bryan Rust, his 8th game, has 7 points in his first 7 games as a member of the Hartford Whalers after trading for him at the trade deadline. And he did have a hat trick a couple games ago against the Minnesota Wild. And Canucks cannot keep it in the zone. They had a good chance there at the blue line, but could not find the stick there of Edmondson. And still spin away, brings that in, but picked off by Sami Maki. Stout defensive play there on the entry, as Peak will give that for Rozovic. Rozovic trying to dangle a little bit there, as Parekh will give for Pageau. And now Joe Pavelski now on the Canucks here. Bloom, a shot blocked, as now Mangiapane will take that off the bench. Bounce pass there behind the net for Rozovic, as he turns that over now for Edmondson, working towards the net. Now for Pageau, a backhand shot, and that's swatted away by Askarov. Now Maki will give that up for Mangiapane, as he will work that into the zone. Mangiapane, good lead pass there for Rozovic in front, as he cannot finish on the forehand, denied by the pad there of Vladar, as Nate Danielson now. Danielson from the corner cannot get a pass off, as Guryanov will take that up now into the zone. Denis Guryanov for Jacob Perreault, a goal scorer in this game, block shot, and that's now Danielson will give for Pavelski. Joe Pavelski now up to age 41, still kicking here as well with the Canucks, as a save there right in front by Askarov. Now Bloom for Pavelski, blocked by Perreault, and now Sillinger. He'll give that for Peak, and now for Provorov out of the zone. Picked up by Perreault, leading a charge the other way. Perreault tried to lead pass there for Guryanov. And now Nate Smith. Good pass there for Lekermaki. And now for Smith over for Leno. Good pass there for Lindstein towards the net. Askarov denies him. Lindstein now behind the net. Still with it, back to the point for Lekermaki, and that one just wide. And I'm not sure why the stoppage. Did that go out of play and back in? Not sure. And already just 7:02 remaining in this third period. A lot of action early on. We've moved through this one pretty quickly with limited stoppages. Now in the offensive zone, Lekermaki back for Lindstein, blocked. Parker Kelly could not hang on. Now Landeskog will take it out of harm's way. A rush now for the Whalers. Will give up for Scheifele as he set off the puck, turns that over. That'll be dumped in by Vancouver, picked up by Ryan Graves. Like Rust, one of those trade deadline acquisitions. He came over from Montreal. Being paired now with Jordan Spence. A good feed pass there for Scheifele, and on the net all alone, backhand on the deke. Denied by Vladar. Lecker Maki now back for Vancouver. Takes it into the zone. Tried the centering pass there, but taken away by Scheifele. Now less than 5 minutes left here in regulation. Mark Scheifele now. Still with it into the zone. Works past a few Canucks. Back for Graves. Couldn't handle it, but does find it. Hit off the puck by JT Miller, who will pickpocket him and lead a charge. JT Miller towards the net. A shot. Swatted at. And they could not get the rebound. Graves able to interfere there. And ultimately it will end up in a tripping penalty from Vancouver as Besser now, as we do get the extra attacker out there. Besser tried a centering pass, but Elias Peterson there to get the stoppage. And that's Connolly, a former top 10 or top 15 pick over the course of this franchise, I believe. Ned Connolly to the box, one of the top point getters now on this Vancouver team, playing on the top line, but now gonna finish most of this one in the penalty box. Now just 3:27 left in regulation. Hartford wins the draw. Back to the point for Montour, blocked into the corner, and now up along the boards. Vancouver gets it out. Danielson will dump that in. Picked up now by Denis Gurianov. Will give for Mangiapane and Brandon Montour. Montour into the zone. Starting pass for Rozovic, a shot gloved by Vladar. Offensive zone draw now to the left of Vladar as Vancouver does win that. That was Parker Kelly back for Parekh. Parekh spinning around, and now we'll give over back for Parker Kelly. Kelly will dump that in. Now half of this power play already gone for Hartford, as Bryan Rust now with it. Rust will give over for Mangiapane. Mangiapane in front for Bryan Rust. A good feed there, good puck movement, and good play design, but a good stop by Vladar. 2:09 now left in regulation. 42 seconds on the power play. Landeskog off the faceoff one back for Montour. Rip wide. Now Ristolainen picks it up, and will give up now for Nate Smith. Smith into the zone. Hit, but still gains possession. Edmondson now off a feed, blocked right in front. Will spin that all the way around for Ristolainen. Still with it through contact, back for a rip for Edmondson. That one blocked into the corner, as back to even strength now. Leo Carlson will just dump that in. Retrieved by Connolly, who's out of the box down to the final minute here in regulation. Hartford on the brink of a 7-game win streak. Edmondson with it. Fights into the zone. Vancouver does pull the goaltender. Loose puck now in front, fighting for it, as Peterson does get possession in front for Connolly on the forehand. He scores his 21st of the season, and that's Ned Connolly. We said he's one of the top points getters here for Vancouver. He committed that penalty, and with the extra attacker out there, Vancouver nets it early on, so still plenty of time if they're able to get another possession. Elias Peterson keeping that shift going, keeping that offensive possession, as he gets his 40th assist, I think it said there. And now a 3-2 game here, and just a 1-goal lead has now been diminished for the Hartford Whalers. 43.4 seconds remaining. Connolly on the goal, off the feed from Peterson, and Vancouver with it in the neutral zone. Although a turnover there, Leo Carlson back the other way with Peterson on his horse, but a save there, good shot by Carlson, but saved by Vladar. Now still in the zone, trying to kill this clock. Now less than 30 seconds, although Ristolainen leading a charge down for Rodriguez, as again they will pull the goaltender, but Brock Besser back the other way, and a big hit there as Vancouver gets it back. Kosepnikov, a starting pass there for Peugeot, is saved by Askarov. Into the final 15 seconds now, as they tried to pass there to the blue line, and that goes aimlessly all the way back into the zone. Kills what was pretty much left of this clock. Time for one more rush maybe, although a heads up defensive play there by Carlson, holding up a man against the boards, and that will do it here, I thought, but a holding penalty there by Podkolzin. We will get a stoppage. One last face-off now before we get to conclusion, as we do win that one more shot, as Gurianov a rip, and that'll be blocked away by Vladar. But a 3-2 victory here for our Hartford Whalers as we continue to establish ourselves as one of the top playoff teams here in the Eastern Conference. We're pretty much set, I think, for the second seed in the Metro, and we're going to probably have a series there against the New York Rangers, or maybe even the Carolina Hurricanes if they're able to put together a late push and surpass the Rangers. But now it's a 7-game win streak, and this is the time you want to get hot, and hopefully we can continue this play throughout the remainder of this episode. We're going to sim ahead probably 5 more games and then set it up next time out where we're going to have a full game, a full game episode against the New York Rangers in our last matchup with them here in the regular season. With 3-2 here from the XL Center as we take care of the Vancouver Canucks. Askarov, 26 saves on 28 shots. He's the third star. Bryan Rust, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points in this one as he now has 9 points in 8 games. And Brock Besser, 1 goal, 1 assist against his former team. He's the first star. And now we will simulate this game against Detroit as we look to keep this winning streak going. The Red Wings 1 point out now of third in the Atlantic, our Metro Division holding the 2 wildcard spots here in the Eastern Conference. And now after the first period, we are up 3-1. Early on, the Detroit Red Wings didn't score the first goal. Power play there from Lucas Raymond, but we answered with 3 in the matter of 4 minutes. Guryanov, Jacob Perreault, who's now scored his second goal in as many games, and also Sami Maki, I think now has set a new career high with 8 goals on the season, I believe. And that's Tarasov, a former second-round pick here of the Red Wings, a young goaltender. Not a pleasant entry in this one, although the Red Wings do fight back. But Jacob Perreault, another goal, his second of the game. Nicolas Aube-Kubel and Dylan Larkin net a couple. So it's a 4-3 game now here in the third period. We're being outshot 25-15 as we will send this third period here in real time and see if we can hang on down the stretch. 30 shots on goal now for Detroit as they're just hammering us. Now less than 10 minutes left in regulation. A power play now for the Whalers. Less than 5 minutes now. And we do not answer on that power play now into the final 2 minutes. And it looks like we are not going to hang on. 11 seconds left. And Reinbacher nets that one against Askarov. And now that we are going to get overtime action here, we will just jump into it. That is crazy. 11 seconds left. And Reinbacher nets one to force overtime here. And our 7-game win streak is now at risk as we are overtime here from Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Dylan Larkin on the draw against Mark Scheifele. Mark Scheifele able to force him off as Raymond does pick it up though now into the zone as he does force his way past Montour now. Back for Reinbacher. Larkin as Askarov sprawling out, able to make the save, and a huge one there as we're still alive in OT. The Red Wings playoff hopes really on the line with every game, although at least able to secure a point in this one, but they definitely need the 2 more than we do at this point. Now Raymond, a goal already over for Larkin. That's blocked by Scheifele. And now Hartford getting something going the other way. Leo Carlson, 2-on-1 here for the Whalers. Carlson along the board, centering pass picked off by Reinbacher, but Montour gets it. And that loose puck going to be picked up by Raymond the other way. A lot of speed. Lucas Raymond into the zone, centering pass for Larkin. A shot and glove save by Askarov. And Dylan Larkin did have an overtime winner against us last season, and almost another at that shot. 3:07 left here in overtime. And I mentioned, I think, our last overtime game in the last episode, we have not gotten a shootout here in a long time and a live look-in, so we might be in store for that. Reinbacher off the face-off backhand. Easy glove save by Askarov. And I think our next pair of games, West Coast games against Vegas and Colorado, so that's a back-to-back. We'll probably get backup goaltender Daniil Tarasov in for one of those as Larkin. A tough angle that time. Another stop by Askarov, and Detroit has had every shot so far in this overtime session, almost halfway through. 2:35 remaining. Still the top units here on the ice for Hartford and Detroit. Scheifele still out there against Dylan Larkin. As Scheifele again loses the draw back for Reinbacher. As he cannot get that. He does get that away for Larkin. Back for Reinbacher now. Back for Larkin. Easing his way up. Backhand shot off the rebound. And that is netted by Lucas Raymond. Just devastating way to end our winning streak. I'm at a loss for words as that was a 7-game win streak down to 11 seconds. And Reinbacher able to net that one to tie it. And Detroit had all the pressure there in overtime as our 7-game win streak comes to a close, but at least still get a point out of it. We still have a little point streak going, but Lucas Raymond, 2 goals in this one. Dylan Larkin, you see why they left the top unit out there the whole time, as Raymond and Larkin and even Reinbacher there, just so many chances developed, and they do end up getting an overtime game-winning goal here as they now leap into a playoff spot. Now 1 point up, I think, on the Ottawa Senators there in the Atlantic Division, but a very dramatic game here from Detroit from the Little Caesars Arena as we fall here 5-4. Back-to-back 1-goal games to start this episode, and hopefully we can pick it up here in the ensuing matchups. Now here against Vegas, they've only won 2 in their last 10 games. They've been a bottom dweller throughout the course of this franchise. They've even won 2 of the 5 or 4 lotteries over the course of the off seasons as well. Now Daniil Tarasov going to be the starting goaltender, as we're now going to resort to a 8-game point streak that we're now rocking. After the first period, we are leading 2-1. Mark Scheifele and also Bryan Rust on the shorthanded goal. But Patrick Kane, the former Hartford Whaler, of course, was a key cog in this franchise in the first 2 seasons now with the Knights. He does get a goal there on Tarasov. And now we're still leading after the second, 3-2, as Bryan Rust nets another one. So on hat-trick watch, he can be in line for another hat-trick. That would be 2 in the matter of 4 games, I believe, as we're leading here 3-2. And we'll send the remainder here in real time. The second power play now for Vegas as we kill that off. Now into the final 8 minutes of regulation. Still a 3-2 lead here for the Whalers into the final 5. And we do get another goal there from Leo Carlsson, some insurance. And they get a goal back from Filppula now into the final minute. And we do barely hang on in this one again. A late one does get interesting. But with our backup goaltender in there, we are able to hang on. Bryan Rust now 3 points in this one. He's had 5 points in the 2 games in this episode, which now makes it 12 points in 9 games as a Hartford Whaler so far. He is already paying out in huge margins for us as we're now on the road against Colorado, a team that has lost Cale Makar to the Dallas Stars. Of course, we have Gabriel Landeskog, and this is our second game in Colorado. We visited them earlier in the season. I think we went on to lose that game, if I recall correctly. I'm actually not sure on that one, but that actually was just a couple episodes ago, and we are going to put Askarov back in net here against the Avs, and then I think we're on the road against Tampa Bay, which that's going to make it just a shorter episode because next time out we're going to have a full episode against the New York Rangers. So if not in this game, maybe the next game we'll tune into the full third period, kind of like how we started out against the Canucks. But after the first period, no score here in Colorado, only 8 shots to 3 as we held the Avalanche to just 3 shots. You love to see that. But nothing doing again, as they did get 9 shots in that period. But I guess seeing as it's 0-0, we will jump into this one against the Avalanche. Again, it's going to be Gabriel Landeskog on his former home ice in his second return here now to the Avalanche. After we acquired him this past offseason, we sent over Samuel Bolduc, Michael Rasmussen, as we'll probably see them in this one. But Nathan MacKinnon, Mark Scheifele there at center ice to open this third period. No score so far. Playoffs on the line for both sides. I think Colorado third in the Central Division right now. Intercepted off the draw by Zadina for Maki for Landeskog in front as Annunen able to glove that one. Landeskog trying to find the back of the net in his former arena, but Annunen able to snag that one. An early chance here for the Whalers in this scoreless game early on in the third period. Again on the draw is MacKinnon as Scheifele will win that for Montour. A rip as that's kicked away into the corner. Landeskog back with it, being fought against a defenseman as Bowen Byram will pick it up now, an alternate captain here on the Avs, especially with the departure of Devon Tays and Cale Makar over the course of this franchise. Now MacKinnon with it behind the net where he's very effective, but Askarov able to seal that one off and freeze it. Again, we'll have MacKinnon against Scheifele, and again, advantage Scheifele. Back for Sami Maki now for Zadina. Zadina having a career year has been a firecracker for us. Try to get a shot off there, but blocked. Now Landeskog back for Zadina. Now for Montour easing in front for Scheifele. A forehand chance there, tight angle, and Annunen freezes that. With all the turnover on this Colorado roster, MacKinnon and Rantanen still on this team. Now Scheifele does not win it that time as Chatfield turns it over there to Landeskog. Now for Maki for Scheifele, a shot. Pad saved by Annunen as Byram will get that for Rantanen, who will dump that in. I think a line change going for both sides now as Maki will get for Montour. Now for Landeskog as he'll dump that in, and he'll probably get a change as well. Besser giving chase, fighting now against Chatfield as Chatfield able to spin away for Ross Colton now. Colton finding some space there in the neutral zone. Eventually closed off by Montour, but the loose puck picked up by a teammate, Nichushkin, towards the net as Montour, good defensive play to take that back. Now over for Carlson. Though Carlson will dump it in, giving chase now as Byram able to retrieve it for Colton. Colton past center ice now into the zone for the Avalanche. Poked away but picked up by Nichushkin now in front for Colton as he cannot get the shot off. Now Montour able to get for Bryan Rust on a point streak now, but knocked down to the ice. A big hit there by Nichushkin now going towards the net but loses possession to Montour. Bryan Rust absolutely laid out that time. Now Rozovic leading the charge but picked up by Byram, but Bryan Rust able to get it back, try to get a shot off, as he does find it back, blocked by Tyson Yost in front, as Rozovic now for Peak, back for Bryan Rust. Rust gets it for Peak. Back for Rust. Now back to the point for Provorov. A shot in front, and Tyson Jost able to cut off that rebound. Bryan Rust was right there, but Jost in a good position to take that away. Now back the other way as he's now hit off the puck by Peak. A big hit. Picked up by Provorov behind the net. Now gives for Tom Wilson. Wilson now into the zone. Tom Wilson, some space in front for Rozovic. Blocked him back for Rozovic on a second chance. That one went wide. And now Samuel Bolduc over for Samuel Girard. Bolduc, the former Islanders expansion pick in this franchise, spent most of the time with our Whalers. Now Tom Wilson in front for Rozovic. A good pass, but picked off by Girard as Rozovic couldn't get the leverage there. Now Jaden Schwartz into the zone, picked off by Peak, as Tom Wilson will take it past center ice into the zone. Closed off along the boards there. Double team going for Colorado as Girard ends up with it. Now for Bly. Now halfway through this third period as Jaden Schwartz the other way for Colorado there, fighting against Ryan Graves. Able to win that battle, and Jordan Spence coming over to pick it up and tripped, and Hartford will go to the power play. Offensive zone draw now for the Whalers to the left of Annunen, and Scheifele back for Besser. Now for Zadina, a rip. That one goes wide. And now Leo Carlson along the boards for Scheifele. And so he'll try and poke that back for Zadina, but couldn't handle it. And now Tyson Jost will clear that. Being chased by Zadina, who's hit off the puck there by Tanner Ginott now for Tyson Jost, but couldn't get it. Now Leo Carlson, as we'll try and get a charge going now. Landeskog in front for Carlson, but couldn't handle that. And Annunen will freeze it up. 1:14 left on the power play. Lomberg on the draw as he does win that back, but back to the goalie is Brandon Saad. Now for Chatfield, he does get the clear. And now half of this power play is expired. Zadina for Carlson, over for Mark Scheifele. Could not get a clean handle, but does recover. And now into zone for Landeskog. 3-on-2 now for Hartford, and Landeskog in his former arena here at the Ball Arena will bury that first goal of this game to give the Whalers the late lead. And who else? You just can't write it any better. Who says that hockey is not poetic? And an absolutely brutal time for my batteries to die, but the 53rd point nonetheless for Gabriel Landeskog as our Whalers with the 1-0 lead. Now we break the seal, and hopefully we can hold it down the stretch here. Scheifele and Carlson on the assists, and that's a power play goal here for the Whalers to put us up 1-0 in what was a scoreless drought. And now into the final 8 minutes here of regulation. Brandon Montour spins away from a man. And Landeskog did get an ovation. Of course, they played the tribute video for him in the last game. As there's Michael Rasmussen, a former Whaler. We'll give that for Schwartz. Now, good pass there for Sammy Blais as he's pickpocketed by Sammy Maki. And now Landeskog for Scheifele. Now for Zadina. Backhand pass goes to no one but Mikko Rantanen. And then that one just all the way back into Hartford territory. Going to be picked up by McKinnon now. McKinnon all alone. 1-on-3. Rantanen, though, does join him. A shot saved into the corner. Now Rantanen back for Byram. A shot in the slot. And Askarov able to glove that one in the shoulder. Mikko Rantanen, 70 points on the season. 25 goals, 45 assists. One of the best players in the league. Of course, making up one of the best combos with Nathan McKinnon. Back for Bone Byram as Jacob Perreault going to take it back the other way. 3 goals in this episode so far, although that time turns it over to Chatfield, who gives that for Bowen Byram. Now 5 minutes remaining in regulation. McKinnon into the zone now for Brandon Saad. Back for McKinnon, a shot blocked now for Andrew Peak. Peak being chased by McKinnon, but does get away for now. And held on to that a little bit too long as Provorov does pick it up for Perreault, though. A 3-on-1 here for Hartford in front, and that's a save by Annunen. That was a great feed by Perreault over to Cole Sillinger as Colorado was in the midst of a line change, but a good save by Annunen to bail them out as it's still just a 1-0 here. Only 14 shots on goal for Colorado. That is not going to get it done. And Hartford does win that draw. Carlson back for Peak now for Provorov as he can't get the shot off, but Peak back with it, back for Provorov. Now up for Besser for Carlson. Good puck movement, a backhand chance, save into the corner. Colton being held up by Rust, who kicks that back along the boards. And now Colorado, here's Nikchiskin into the final 3 minutes. Turns it over now for Besser. And now for Carlson in front. That was kicked away by Annunen. Bryan Rust picks it up, being held up. Loose puck now for Provorov, back for Carlson. A shot. I think Provorov probably should have just took that one. And Annunen again will freeze it. Now down to the final 2 minutes, 21 seconds here in regulation from the Ball Arena. As Scheifele does win that, but loose puck, no one could pick it up. As Zadina on the forecheck, able to get that back from Byram. As Hartford does have full possession, full pressure here. Maki now for Montour. and they turn it over there. A wasted opportunity. Now Colorado taking it back the other way. Nichushkin leading the charge. Shot there, paddled away off the stick of Askarov. Picked up by Hartford. Now Zadina into the final minute now of regulation. Zadina ripped there off the slap shot. Girard picks it up off the rebound. Bounce pass off the wall, and that finds nobody but Sami Maki. And now Girard will give for Schwartz into the final 45 seconds now as they pull the goaltender. Good save there by Askarov here in crunch time. Montour over for Sami Maki. Now back for Montour. Onto the empty net is Landeskog. He will take the rip, and that one just wide. Trying to get number 2 here. And now Bolduc gives for Sami Blais into the final 30 seconds now. Jaden Schwartz on the rush here for the Avs. Towards the net, and that's gloved away into the middle there, into the center of the net, as Rasmussen off the backhand, saved by Askarov into the corner. And now Carlson will take that out of harm's way for now. Up for Rust on the empty net, and Bryan Rust another goal here as he extends his point streak. And he has been on absolute fire since coming over from Pittsburgh. His 26th goal of the season. He's now hit like 60 points, his highest total in 6 seasons. And he is proving to be a tremendous addition from the trade deadline. Hopefully he can carry this production into the postseason, where of course he has a ton of experience. He's now tied with Mangiapane as our top goal scorer. Of course, most of them have come with Pittsburgh, so not really official towards our team total. But Carlson and even Yaroslav Askarov gets an assist there. You don't see that too much as we win the puck there off center ice. And now try to get another one there was Rust, but turns it over as Vakanainen on this last rush here for the Avs. Turned over there for Ryan Graves. And that will now do it here from the Ball Arena as our Hartford Whalers get the win 2-0. Gabriel Landeskog a goal against his former team in his former arena. Yaroslav Askarov now his 4th shutout of the season. This one only 15 shots on goal, but it doesn't matter how many they take as long as you stop all of them as we get this lead now at 9-game point streak, I want to say, or 8-game point streak. I've lost count at this point, but we are absolutely rolling here in the late stages of this season, and only one more game to get through, that being at Tampa Bay, as we look to continue the high marks here as we win 2-0. I actually called it a 10-game point streak because we're 9-0-1 in our last 10, and after that game, we've now officially clinched a spot in the playoffs this year. Only our 2nd playoff appearance in 5 years over the course of this franchise. We're now at 98 points. We're still 15 behind the Islanders, who, like I said, are in line to win the President's Trophy this year. Just way too good to compete with them here in the regular season, although we are 2-0 against them so far, or I think 3-0, something like that, but 46-22-6, a tremendous record. We're 4 points ahead of the New York Rangers, who we're going to face in the next episode. But before that, we are going to sim this next game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who I think are also currently in a playoff spot, as they're currently 3rd in the Atlantic. And the Red Wings now a wild card team, as the Flyers and Devils have fallen out of a playoff spot. The Flyers were rocking earlier in the season, but now on the outside looking in, as we just want to make sure Askarov is still in net. And also I saw that Bryan Rust, his morale has improved lately due to his high play, and he's been absolutely tearing it up. But hopefully we can end on a win. I think that makes us 3-0-1 in this episode, so let's see if we can keep the good times rolling here. Although a very tough task against the Tampa Bay Lightning, of course, very seasoned and experienced, and they know what it takes to win Stanley Cups. After the first period, we are trailing 2-1. Nikita Kucherov on the power play, Will Borgen, and who but else, Bryan Rust, another goal. 24 seconds left there in the first period on Vasilevsky. After the second, we're trailing now 3-1 as McGinn nets one there against Askarov, and we'll sim this third period, and we do fall here. So the 10-game point streak is snapped. Kucherov another goal. Mangiapane gets one. We had 37 shots on goal. Vasilevsky stopped 35. And of course, he is one of the best in the league. But this is where I'm going to leave you folks. Thank you so much for watching. A shorter episode here, but we got a lot of gameplay in, and we had some good times despite that loss to end it. But we're going to pick it up next time out against the New York Rangers. Only a 2-point lead now on them in the Metro Division with 7 games remaining in this Year 5 season. We have clinched a playoff spot, but the work is not done. We still have 7 games left to go, and we have to finish strong and carry this momentum into the postseason, as we're more than likely set for a matchup with the New York Rangers. But as always, everybody, it's been real, and be well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.